Welcome to the 301 Colored Commentators, a monthly podcast series where two black men from the state of Maryland debate and give their hot takes on movies, professional wrestling, and TV shows. So have a listen, have a look-see, but nonetheless, enjoy.
Sláinte. Hello, folks.
How y'all doing?
301 Colored Commentators. Happy holidays, everybody. I'm glad you could join us for episode number 8 of season 2. We've been busy, but we finally got back to you guys right here, right now. Yeah, we're taking it back.
Dynamic duo.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Only guess which one of us is Batman or Robin?
Yeah.
You decide.
We'll let you tell it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay, we're going to be taking it back to like 32 years ago, actually, as a matter of fact, for two of our 3 topics today.
Yeah, sure.
The first one is the 1991 feature film Boyz N Tha Hood, written and directed by John Singleton. Classic. The second is the 1991 Survivor Series, where they finally switched up their formula. Whether or not it worked, we'll talk about that soon. And lastly, we're going to be talking about the inaugural season of the Showtime dark dramedy Dexter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually, we'll get into it.
All
Shout
right.
out to you because you kind of,
I see what you did there. Shout out to you.
I didn't even do that on purpose. But yeah. But yeah, we'll get to that. But,
Yeah. Let me just, a few things that I like to start off with. Jonathan Majors. Damn. Just damn. I was pulling for him to have a not guilty verdict, but like now, Marvel dropped him. But here's the funny thing with that: Marvel drops him as Kang the Conqueror, but DC they keep Ezra Miller as the Flash, and he did a hell of a lot worse, and he got off.
Yeah, ironically, I find it. I'm not even going to comment too much about that. I'll keep my comments to myself. I don't want to offend nobody. But ironically, if the reason why they dropped him is because he's guilty, on the flip side, the legend of Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr., was guilty multiple times, and he's still the Iron Man. They never dropped him for his past crimes. So it's kind of hypocritical to just drop him because he's guilty. Whereas you have other criminals or past criminals that you made as your headliners in your Marvel. Not to say that Robert Downey Jr. He was perfect for Iron Man, but I'm just saying, like, if that's how they're rolling, just because of that,
And they have to fire everybody then. I mean, look what they did with James Gunn, the writer and director of the Guardians of the Galaxy films. Yeah. They fired him temporarily before during the filming of the second Guardians film because of some tweets that he had years ago where he just had some tongue-in-cheek jokes about child molesters.
There you go.
But then through protests got him back on. Yes.
Solid joke, man. I hope he bounces back.
I hope so too.
I hope he's also respectively learned his lesson, and I don't want to get into that, but yeah.
You see how he was chasing that chick around the city?
Or how she was chasing him?
It was like a marathon.
Yeah.
Or what else? Also, Iron Claw. We got to see that and talk about that.
Oh yeah. You mentioned it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Absolutely.
It comes out tomorrow. Well, today actually.
Today's Friday.
Today's the 22nd, right?
Yeah.
Today it's out today actually. It's gotten like rave reviews already.
Probably mess with it next week after Christmas.
Yeah, we got to.
Yeah, sure.
You got to. I was telling some of our old friends yesterday what's it called about the film, and the girl remembered the Texas tornado. I'm like, yeah, check it out, but be warned. Be warned, the Von Erichs, these niggers are like the Kennedys of pro wrestling. Not because of their longevity, but because of the opposite of that.
Yeah. Practically white. There's one left, right?
There's one left. One left, I think. Yeah.
It's the smallest one, I think. Stature-wise.
I want to say Kevin, I think it is, but I don't think that's him. And they got offspring that are involved in the business now too.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that, but yeah, it's a sad story for that family. Definitely we'll check it out. It should be good.
We will. We shall.
Yeah.
What else you been up to?
Not much. Getting ready for the holidays. Am I missing anything? Celebrating birthdays here and there. Been a good busy, eventful last month. So
Excellent.
music-wise, been throwing it back a little bit. Went back to The Cure. Remember The Cure?
Oh yeah, the English band.
Yeah.
They're the ones that started that whole dark gothic trend with people like dyeing their hair and whatnot.
Yeah. So I went to one of the classic albums, the one that has Love Song, which I think was the biggest hit. So I revisited that. My man Wizkid, that's Afrobeat, just dropped the EP today. And I'm trying to figure out what else I've been listening to. Just a medley of different genres, basically.
Got you.
How about you?
I've been going back to the '90s, listening to the '90s soundtracks that I never copped, but did listen to back in middle school. I copped the Friday soundtrack.
That's a good one.
The Space Jam soundtrack.
I had that.
That was big.
That was good.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually low key good.
Yeah, hit 'em high. I love that posse.
Yeah, there's a Busta Rhymes in there, right?
Busta Rhymes, Cypress Hill, Method Man.
Yeah.
That was
a good track. Good track.
You can't. The Space Jam that they remade with LeBron is like you can't do that.
Never watched it.
Never watched it either.
And I actually like LeBron. I just thought it was a bit forced.
It feels forced. Like all these like sequels they're doing of like '90s and '80s cult classics. Like you saw the Beverly Hills Cop 4. You see the trailer?
Yeah, Netflix.
I'm actually gonna check that out.
I trusted Eddie Murphy. I hope it'll be all right.
But did you like the Coming to America
Hell
one
no.
too? Did you trust Eddie Murphy though?
Yeah, because this is more just him. Yeah, I think he's stuck. It's a simpler formula than Coming to America. Coming to America was a classic because it had a lot of different elements meshed in.
And characters that he played too.
Exactly. They were all meshed in, so it was a lot to kind of do a sequel years later, whereas this is just a very basic, simple formula. Just stick with it.
In principle, it's the same thing. It's almost 30 years later after the last one. Beverly Hills Cop 3 was '94, and that shit bombed.
Yeah, it did. I liked it though, but it bombed.
Yeah,
respectively, if you could compare it to the others, it definitely was the worst by far. But I still enjoyed it. It was funny to me still.
Yeah, I couldn't. Years later, I'm like, I keep looking at it like the first two. That's all.
Those were great.
But I like how they do in this recent trailer. How they do get Taggart and Rose.
Yeah, brought him back.
Bogomil, is he in there too, or is he just Ronnie Cox too old?
We'll find out.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
And Jenny Summers. I love Jenny Summers in the first film.
Of course you do.
She was just pretty. Yeah, the art curator for Mr. Maitland.
Yeah, she was pretty.
Just a man who.
I always ask the question. Not that it's relevant, but in the '80s, I feel like a lot of the ladies were their beauty was enhanced by their hair and their makeup.
Oh, that poof.
It was done so well that it accentuated their look. But I don't know if those were absent, they would look as good.
Maybe it was a sign.
Because if you just look across, even the average looking one, they look much better with that look.
A sign of the times. Like Miss Elizabeth had it.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, she did. I don't know if that really just brought out her features or. No, actually, you know what? It did. It did because in the '90s I wasn't feeling her.
And I was just recently watching Superstars of Wrestling '87.
Oh yeah.
And leading to WrestleMania, one of the guests, the lady, I forget what show she's on. She and Bob Uecker were on it. She had that look too. WrestleMania 3.
Oh, not
something Marie something. Yeah, but yeah, I saw her. I was like, yeah, typical '80s look. She looked pretty because of the way, like that look of the way they did the makeup, the way their hair was done, helped a lot. It begged me to consider would they look any different? Any different if all that was taken away?
Yes, they would. I think so.
I think so too, because like when that died down, a lot of people in the '90s and thereafter, their actual beauty was, taken into consideration like naturally.
And plus, the times changing too, with that whole '90s and that grunge era and shit like that.
Yeah, that's true. The grunge.
A lot of women that were into that scene want to downplay their beauty a lot.
Yeah,
hide behind flannel shirts and like messy hair.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah. It's just a weird question I've had lately watching old '80s movies and '80s TV shows and shit like that. So, but yeah, right on in, huh?
Yep. All right. First, we're going to be talking about Boyz N Tha Hood.
Shout out to Indianapolis. Go ahead.
Boyz N Tha Hood, released July 12th, 1991. It was written and directed by John Singleton in his directorial debut.
Yep.
It stars Ice Cube, Cuba Gooding Jr., Morris Chestnut, Nia Long, Tyra Farrell, Regina King, Angela Bassett, and Lawrence Fishburne. Larry Fishburne. He was still Larry Fishburne at this point.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He didn't start going by Lawrence Fishburne until 1993.
I did not know that. Okay.
Yeah, even in the posters for this film, it's billed as, you see Ice Cube, Cuba Gooding, Morris Chestnut, and Larry Fishburne. Yeah, the film, it begins in 1984, following a 10-year-old named Trey Styles. He's sent to live by his mother to live with his father in an area of South Central after getting into an altercation at school. And he already goes to see his father every weekend. His father, Jason Styles, who everybody just calls Furious, played by Lawrence Fishburne. He's stern, strict, but he's fair, and he's one of the few good fathers on the block.
That's right.
Yeah, Trey's friends, he's got Chris, little Chris, and the two half-brothers, Doughboy and Ricky.
Yep.
Yeah, he's friends with them throughout childhood, and after some brief scenes showing how they grew up in '84, it fast forwards all the way to 1991. Doughboy, now played by Ice Cube, he's an ex-con at the age of 17 and implied to be a Crip given the color of his wardrobe. Ricky, he's a high school football star, but also is a teenage father with his girlfriend and son living with him and his mother. And Trey is the most responsible one. Trey, played by Cuba Gooding Jr., his father had him on the right track. He has a good job. He's not involved in the streets or nothing like that, and not having unprotected sex, or at least he claims that he is in order to sound cool.
Yeah.
And little Chris, he's in a wheelchair now. He's a minor part of the group, though, not really the main focus.
Correct.
But the film's title is a reference to a 1987 Eazy-E rap song that was actually written by Ice Cube himself. And John Singleton, he initially developed this film as a requirement for his application to film school back in '86, and he sold the script to Columbia Pictures upon graduation in 1990. And while writing it, he drew inspiration from his own life and the lives of people that he knew. And once Columbia Pictures greenlit the project, he insisted that he be the director on it. A lot of the photography began back in September of 1990, while it was filmed on location from October to November of 1990. And also, I keep giving fun facts about this film, I know. It was a critical and commercial smash. It grossed $57.5 million against a $6.5 million budget, and it was a star-making vehicle for a lot of the actors in there. I mean, Lawrence Fishburne, he was already an established character actor, having been in King of New York, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, Apocalypse Now, and his role as Cowboy Curtis in Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Yeah.
But people like Regina King, Ice Cube, Nia Long, that was their first. This is their first movie, and it made them stars. Cuba Gooding Jr. and Morris Chestnut, they had bit roles before. We saw Cuba Gooding.
Morris was where?
I think he may have been in an episode of Jag. I think it was.
Okay.
But Cuba Gooding Jr., I remember seeing him in Coming to America in the barbershop.
Yes.
No speaking role.
Yeah.
But it had a Jerry curl.
Yep, I remember that.
Yeah, they got casted because they were the first people to appear to the audition.
Oh, okay.
But this made them stars too. I mean, a lot of people in here, Cuba Gooding Jr. and Regina King, they're future Oscar winners. Lawrence Fishburne and Angela Bassett were future Oscar nominees. They both got nominated 2 years later for their roles in the Tina Turner biopic, What's Love Got to Do with It?
That's right.
And the Library of Congress deemed this film as culturally, historically, and aesthetically significant, and it's subject for preservation in the National Film Registry. This film, I first saw this when it came out, when I was in the 3rd grade. And my cousins had it on VHS. And what initially intrigued my young elementary school mind most about it was black kids cursing in class.
Movies or classes.
Yeah, when young Trey's like, get your punk ass brother, bitch. Get my daddy. He's like, got my motherfucker.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn. I've never heard black students curse in school, in class, in real life or otherwise. This is interesting. Yeah, and like seeing how his mother just basically sent him to live with his daddy. Like, he's gonna straighten you out. And it's the first thing his daddy does the first day he gets there. Makes him rake up all the leaves.
Yep. Sets the rules down.
Like, don't look at me funny if I ask you to do something.
Yep.
And I think Singleton, he based, like I said before, he based Trey and a lot of the people in there off of himself and his own life. Because
what he's seen.
Because Trey initially early on is established that he's a comic book collector. When Doughboy and Chris asked him about if he's still collecting comic books.
That's right.
And later in the film, much later, after he decides not to, when Trey decides not to join Doughboy and the rest in avenging Ricky's death, when he goes home and goes to his room and takes off his shirt and lays down, you see all these comics laid down on his desk, all wrapped up in plastic. I'm like, those are from Singleton's collection. They gotta be.
Because he used to be a comic book collector.
Yeah, he was a collector. A lot of people in Hollywood bonded with him. Kevin Smith, some MCU people, they fucked with Singleton hard.
So rest in peace.
Yeah, I would have loved to have met that man.
Yeah. Y'all would have definitely clicked with your comic book collection and your love for comic books.
And that of his love for cinema though too. It's like you can tell he actually likes films and pays attention.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like even this movie is packed with a lot of calculated detail. Like you could tell. I mean, even though he was basing it on his life and what he had seen growing up, a lot of it was also based strategically showing America or exposing America
during that era.
Like the reality of the black man's life, the average black man's life.
The statistics they gave in the beginning of the film.
Yeah.
Or 1 in 4 black men will be killed by another black man.
Yep. Things like that.
Reagan posters.
Exactly. Reagan posters. The importance of the dual family home, the presence of having both parents, and the trauma of even in the aspect of having both parents when they're at odds. Like when they're at odds and like the trauma it has on their children. Because even Trey, when he was younger, he was a pretty responsible student.
He was.
But even with that, you saw underlying trauma, like rage, from what he had seen in his household and what he had seen in his environment.
Yeah, even though he seemed like very like nonplussed by it, like when he was walking home that day, and we hear the voiceover of his mother and the teacher talking about his behavior in class, and he just walks around that dice game where they just beat each other down. Exactly. Like he's nonplussed, and when he goes to live with Furious, the scene where they're like, with him, Chris, Ricky, and Doughboy, like, y'all want to see a dead body?
Yeah.
They're like, not even fear or any apprehension.
Exactly.
It's like normal to them. And plus, and like we said, deliberately placed by Singleton, that scene was inspired by Stand By Me.
Okay.
Because the same thing happened there with them white boys in Stand By Me.
Yeah. Exactly. I forgot about that. Little things like that. The aspect and the science behind gentrification. Like he really, really calculated the placement of certain aspects that black people face in this country.
I know what gentrification was till I saw this film.
Yeah, exactly. So he breaks it down in a scene there. And then he also talks of, like, you see the elements of, the dysfunctional home in Ricky's life.
Yeah.
And Doughboy, his mom.
The mom favors Ricky, clearly.
Yeah. And also you see elements of, like, times where, like single mothers, even though they love their children, when they're at odds with, like, the father of their child, you tend to see them projecting that frustration on the child, as you see her several times with Doughboy.
Yeah, Miss Big Brenda, that's her name.
Yeah, Brenda, exactly. Like you see, like the way she talks, even
as a child. Yeah.
Yeah, even as, like there's no reason why she should be talking to her children like that.
I mean,
it's just frustration and pent up.
And it's an epidemic in the black community too. Like I saw that growing up, not in my own household, but I did see it growing up a lot, where mothers just basically they take their anger out on their sons, really. Yeah. And it's like you're mad at the kid's father. I get that, but it's like he's not his daddy. He didn't do it to you.
Yeah, that's the thing. But you also have to understand a lot of them are also very young.
Like in the film, like Furious and Reba, like Furious mentions often that we were 17.
Yeah, exactly. So sometimes you gotta understand. I mean, it doesn't condone or excuse their action, but it
provides a reason for it.
Yeah, it gives you understanding of why they're that way, and like. But it's not unique to black people. I think
it's sort of like slave residuals too.
Yeah, you see these elements are also present in the extremely poor environments, like white families are like that too. It might be a slightly different dynamic, but like extremely poor white families go through the same thing, where like that the home, excuse me, the home is broken up, like, and like, let's just say they have a child at a young age. That nature of like the mother being frustrated at the father and projecting it on the child happens there. It just so happens that we have a higher bracket of poverty in this country, so it tends to be more familiar with.
Yeah, and you see it a lot in your family, even if it doesn't affect you personally.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, dope. I'm sorry though. Some of the things that she would say in the Doughboy, it just came off as unintentionally funny to me.
It was funny, but it's messed up, but it's funny as hell.
And where you going anyway, you little fat fuck? You
ain't got a job.
Or the scene where Furious is talking about gentrification, where outside at front of them billboards. Yeah. All the people come up to him and start to listen, but one of them gangbangers. Yeah. He's like he takes his sunglasses off while still drinking a 40, talking about fuck I'm supposed to do. And motherfucker, don't smoke me. I'll shoot him if you don't kill me first. I'm looking at you like, nigga, where are your eyebrows? Why you look like a cancer patient?
Yeah, his eyebrows were good. I do remember that. But yeah.
Yeah, there were some humorous moments in the film. I mean, and it kind of established the 90s African American drama genre or whatever, the hood classics if you want to call it that.
That's true.
Don't Be a Menace to South Central. That's a parody of all these kind of films.
Yeah.
Menace to Society, what's it called? South Central, New Jersey Drive. Yeah. Those kind of films.
Yeah, that's true. And like I think watching it now, I catch some more like strategically placed concepts in this movie. I feel like Singleton was trying to get across to us that like in these communities, a big component with like the younger generation, the gangbangers and stuff, is the absence of hope. Where like there's lack of love and the sense of hope and drive early in their lives. So by the time they reach those formative years, where they're teenagers and stuff, when they have no hope, they have no inspiration, nothing to live for, that's when they start to go astray and don't give a shit.
I mean, and they said in the film that if you got a good parent in your film, like, and they imply that they need fathers in the film. Yeah, that is true. That is true. Yeah. But what's it called? It looked like Nia Long's character, Brandy. She had her mother in her life. Yeah. There was no mention of her father, but she turned out to be pretty level-headed herself. Yeah. And by the end of the film, her and Trey, they're basically going to school, college, across the street from each other. Morehouse and Spelman.
Now that's strategically placed HBCUs, popular in the so he knew what he was doing.
And Singleton went to USC.
Went to USC? Yeah. Oh, okay. Which is Ricky.
Spike Lee, he was the one that went to Morehouse.
Got it. Yeah.
And Singleton, speaking of which, Singleton, because of this film, he got Oscar nominations for Best Director and Best Original Screenplay. And he was not only the youngest person ever to be nominated for Best Director, but the first African American.
Oh, okay. He didn't win though.
He didn't win either, but it set precedence.
Yeah. This movie is great for the culture, I'd say.
Especially black filmmakers too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and John Singleton, I think he was the foremost black American filmmaker to tell our stories. Yeah. Like shit that we only knew that happens in like a black backyard or a cookout or whatever. Yeah. He told that, put it on screen.
And even ironically that you say that at the end of the movie, Doughboy kind of hints at that, like, yo, like all this shit is going on in the hood and nobody knows about it. It's not on TV.
Or they don't care.
Like, he turns on the news and they're talking about violent environments outside of the United States, whereas in the current country that it is, he was waiting for them to at least mention something about his brother's murder and nothing came on.
Nothing came up.
So this is like almost like shade from Singleton in a way.
Yeah, it is.
In a way of like actually delivering that message, like this is what is actually happening, but at the same time,
it is. He's
critiquing, television stations and stuff.
It is. He has a tendency for throwing shade at the right places too. He does like to make a point, like in Higher Learning, the scene where Omar Epps is beating Michael Rappaport's character down, and the cops come through, they pull Omar Epps off, they start beating him repeatedly, and the camera just focuses on them using the nicest, like, he's not the bad guy. The other guy, the white guy's a shooter.
Facts.
I'm like, yeah, you are. Singleton is trying to make a point with that.
Yeah,
or Spike Lee in Bamboozled, when what's it called? The group. Have you ever saw Bamboozled? The group, the Mau Mau's, that revolutionary rap group where they have Mos Def, Cannabis, Charlie Baltimore, MC Search. Yeah, they all. I shouldn't even give no spoilers, but something happens to them at the end, and Spike Lee is making a racial point.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah.
And he even says in the commentary, "Yes, we are making a point."
Yeah. Like, yeah, there's just so many. I wish I jotted them down, but there's several little intricate details. Like, you can tell he really thought about what he was writing about. Like the way the picture he painted about the LA police.
That black cop.
Ironically, did this come out before Rodney King or after?
This was actually before. It's 91, so the Rodney King riots were 92.
Okay, but when was he beaten? 91, though, right?
91, yeah.
But later in the year.
Later in the year. Well, later in 91.
Yeah, so like ironically, what he was telling in this movie actually ended up happening in real life.
Or was Rodney King beaten by a self-hating black cop though?
No, he wasn't. But I think that was an undertone of the overall picture of, hey, LA cops are corrupt, but it's not just limited to white cops. I mean, there's racism in the whole element, but at the end of the day, they're like a fraternity that have each other's back. Exactly.
Boys in Blue.
So he's basically painting like cops aren't really what they really are.
Yeah, and the thing is in the film is this, what's it called? And anytime we see those two cops, the black cop and the white cop, the white cop is a hell of a lot more civil.
He's chill, yeah.
He's chill, yeah. And he even looks pretty uncomfortable when, like, the scene where the self-hating cop pulls a gun on Trey.
Yeah, Trey, yeah.
He looks uncomfortable, but not uncomfortable enough to try to stop him.
Yeah, that was funny.
And it says, "That's why I took this job. Little niggas, you ain't shit." I'm like, what? Did some black kids beat you up in elementary school? Exactly. And you joining the force? This is your revenge?
Shout out to that scene. Those are part of the reason why I'm here representing my man, the late great Nipsey Hussle, Crenshaw. He's in that scene. He talks about you wanted the Crenshaw Mafia.
Crenshaw Mafia.
The Rolling 60s. Mm-hmm. Nipsey actually has to be a Rolling 60s Crip.
Yeah.
So I'm just here, not here glorifying the Crips, but I'm just here, celebrating Nipsey because he was a great mind. Unfortunately, his life was cut short. Yeah. And that's my guy. Shout out to Nip.
Love Nipsey Hussle, no doubt. Yeah. No doubt. What else happened in this? Let me see what else. Other things in the film as well too. Ricky, so sad. It's
He was
he got like just barely over the minimum SAT requirement to get that scholarship. Yeah. And the day. The funny thing about that scene, when his mother got the envelope, right, the mail that was John Singleton. That was the mailman.
I didn't even catch that.
You wouldn't catch it.
The mailman if you weren't paying attention. Yeah.
If you pause it right, you'll see it.
Him,
but yeah, that's his Hitchcock cameo in his own film. He did that in all of his films. Like in Shaft, the Samuel L. Jackson joint from 2000. Yeah. He was a desk sergeant during the scene where Christian Bale's character beats that dude that wanted the shoes. You want my shoes?
Yeah. I remember that scene. I do remember that scene. Yeah. It's funny that you say in the element of standardized tests being racially biased.
They mentioned that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he really, you could tell he sat down when he was writing the script. He really was putting down a lot of the struggles and the realities that the average black person in the hood.
He probably experienced that shit too.
Absolutely, I did too. We all did. We all did. Like,
although the only time I remember it vocalized in high school was our friend Mike when he comes into when we were seniors. Like,
as a who?
No. Jupac.
Oh, shout out to Jupac. Yeah.
Like, I feel like those tests are culturally biased, man. I mean, I'm not white, I'm Jewish.
Shout out to Jupac. That's my guy. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Jupac. But like you said, the only part that is not as math. Everybody does the same math,
more or less.
Yeah.
So, but they're right. Those SAT tests, the verbal part. Yeah. It's like certain parts.
A lot of the standardized tests are.
Like if Mary is traveling from the supermarket and such, there's like, what if
reading comprehensions? Like, what if, for instance, what if English is not your first language?
Yeah.
How is that going to test somebody's intelligence if that's not their first language?
Unless they happen to guess everything right.
Yeah.
Which I doubt.
Anyway, that's.
What else in the film? Like sex as well too. Where Trey has to lie to his father that he got pussy for the first time. It's like, no, you didn't. And your father probably knew you was lying too.
Yep.
And Furious was like, what, 34 at the time too? I'm like,
yeah,
you was
still young.
Father.
He was still young. Yeah, still young.
Yeah. What was he? A mortgage broker?
Yeah.
He was a badass dude, man. Because I remember
it's cold.
when they went to go see him after they did the SATs, right?
Yeah, they sit in his office.
Yeah, they sit in his office. He's like, "You boys want to see something?" And Trey's like, "Do we have a choice?" And Furious just takes off his glasses. No.
Right. That's when he took him for the little gentrification tour thing. Yeah. But funny enough, like you even say about sex, back when like AIDS was becoming a big thing.
Yeah.
They suddenly like threw mild education in it.
Mm-hmm.
Like one dude was like, "Oh yeah, I don't let them crackheads. I don't fuck them crackheads. I just let them suck my dick or whatever." They're like, you can still get it. Like
Give them, let them suck your dick too.
Yeah. I think at the time it was still fairly new. It wasn't new, but it was fairly now becoming a main like pandemic. I guess I would say epidemic in this because it's closed. It was closed in the United States. It wasn't like a pandemic around the world.
No.
But it was becoming an epidemic in certain pockets in the United States, and the black community was suffering from it at the time.
It was, yeah, but at least it evolved beyond the point where they thought that only gay people could get STDs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, anybody can get it. I mean, what's it called? I remember my mother gave me a comic around the time this movie came out, which specifically said AIDS is transmitted through oral, anal, or vaginal transmission.
There you go.
And they had like a whole definition of that shit in the back.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I know enough about AIDS now, but it still doesn't what's it called, prevent me from from being able to see the partner actually has something.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's like. Go ahead. I was gonna say it's like what's it called? Like Furious said in the film. Furious's main concern was like teen pregnancy.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's worried about. Like, he didn't want his son to go through what he went through.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like how many times have I told you? If a girl tells you she's on a pill, you use something anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, the pill is not gonna keep your dick from falling off.
Right. You did say that.
Yeah. I'm like, he had a good relationship with his son where he can actually talk like
that.
It
was great. I think part of the reason why that helped was the very short age gap.
And plus, in real life, Lawrence Fishburne is only 6.5 years older than Cuba Gooding, Ice Cube, and Morris Chestnut. Yeah. And they made fun of that in Don't Be a Menace in South Central.
Oh,
where he's like, what's it called? The father is actually younger than his son.
Yeah.
What's up?
I won't call it a fun fact, but a fact that is sort of related, but unrelated to the movie. Mm-hmm. The dude that was sucking on the pacifier.
Oh yeah.
You know he got murdered in real life by some gang members in LA.
I know, after Poetic Justice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. He was in that too.
Yeah, he was. He was actually from the come up in acting in black movies, and then he got
V-Dub, Diedrich, Dwayne, Robert. Yeah.
Yeah, he got murdered.
And he actually sucked on pacifiers in real life to quit smoking. But Singleton thought it was so cool. It's like, okay.
I didn't even know that was a reason why. Okay. That's cool, man.
And all the niggas in the film, they got like their names on their shirts or their hats or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, yo, I'm Chris.
Doughboy had his joint.
He had the Detroit on the D.
Yeah, but I thought, didn't he have a Doughboy shirt or something?
Like an actual Pillsbury Doughboy?
Yeah, something.
Mm-hmm. We didn't see that in the film.
Why I feel like I saw his name written on something he wore.
It may have been.
No, it was Welcome Home Doughboy. That's why I saw it.
At the cookout.
Yeah, at the cookout. Yeah.
At the cookout, yeah. So, Nia Long. Nia Long and Regina King. Good God. I didn't think Regina King would become as big as she did.
I know. That was her first movie too.
That was her first movie too, yeah. I mean, given how the roles she played here and later, 4 years later in Poetic Justice?
Yeah.
2 years later or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, I thought she'd always play that kind of archetype, I thought she'd be typecast.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
You're probably right, yeah. I thought so too.
The ghetto girl or whatever, but nah.
Yeah,
she
expanded
beyond that.
Yeah.
Nia Long, she's still one of the most beautiful women in Hollywood.
Aging very nice, like fine wine.
Oh yeah. Thick as hell too.
Yeah.
Angela Bassett, you too, girl.
Yeah, she's aged beautiful. Very, very beautiful. Crack don't crack.
And speaking of which, her character, Reba, it's like she said she would come back to get Trey, but it's like Trey ended up staying there for 7 years while you got your master's and lived bougie.
True.
Yeah. Because even Furious has to throw shade on the film, like when they go have coffee in the restaurant. This is you.
Yeah, you did say that. Yeah, this is very.
I mean, they're both educated. Clearly, I mean, she's got more education.
Yeah.
But it's like Furious. He's still a hood cat, pretty much. He doesn't move away from the area at all.
No. And you can, again, the element of the educated, grounded black male in demand is also thrown in there because even though Furious is still in the hood, he's having issues with the mother of his child, but you can tell that there's possibly something that could still be rectified there.
They just disagree about their son. Really.
Yeah, and then you can see also like Doughboy's mom is still very much interested in him. He's a hot commodity because of the value that he brings.
Yeah, because at the cookout when she was like, "Talk to Darren," that's Doughboy's real name, Darren Baker. She said, "Talk to Darren. I am so sick of him going in and out of jail. Maybe some of what you got can rub off on him."
Exactly.
And Doughboy, and Trey, he does try to add some influence onto his friends, really. Like, even at the cookout, when he says, "Why don't y'all just back and let these ladies go first?" Come on, man.
Yeah, exactly. He was a good influence on Ricky too. This is sad.
Yeah, it's sad how Ricky turned out though. But it's like with Ricky, it's like, you don't split up, dude. Don't split up. Yeah. Like that fool's ain't gonna do nothing. Yeah. Like those are bloods. Those are bloods. Yeah. They even got the car. The color of their car proves it.
Red. Even whatever they were all predominantly
red. Yeah, the Bulls had them, whatever.
The Bulls had it, even the pants.
The backwards cap, yeah. And here's the thing, them niggas started that shit anyway. This is on them.
When you had that little get together.
Yeah, on Crenshaw. Yeah, with the car show, whatever.
Yeah, and then Cube decided to say,
"We got a problem, nigga."
Yeah.
I'm like, well, them Bloods do got a problem because even though Ricky's not a Crip, he still had blue on, which is why Ferris wanted to start shit with him.
And they were older too, so they had more experience.
Yeah, it's like and Doughboy pointed that out in the film. He's like, punk motherfuckers ain't got nothing better to do with their life. 27 years old, still fucking motherfuckers our age.
Yeah.
With his old ass.
Right. I remember that scene.
Were they some of the same dudes that they saw in '84, the one that took Ricky's football from him or whatever?
I thought that at the beginning. Is that who they were?
They were Crips.
Yeah, they were because they were in the same neighborhood.
Yeah, they were blue.
They were blue, yeah.
That little boy, that wasn't Rock. What's his name? Rock. Talking about fucking with Doughboy.
Yeah.
Talking about, would you say fat boy? I said give my brother's brother beef for what? What your fat ass gonna do?
Right. Doughboy had heart though. He came from he tried to get his brother's ball back, even though he got beat.
And he told Ricky, even though he scolded Ricky at first for bringing it, which Ricky shouldn't have done.
Shouldn't have done, yeah.
Yeah. He still went and looked out for his brother.
Yeah.
And then him and Chris, I'm going to the store. What you gonna get? You ain't got no money. I'm going anyway.
Yeah. Well, you knew what was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. They ended up getting arrested and shit.
Mm-hmm. So, they had a lot of the scene where Ricky gets killed and they bring his body back to the house. Why the fuck would they do that? Yeah. Why the hell would they do that other than to show us what that plastic on the couch is for?
Yeah. Right.
And to get the baby upset for hours and hours, and probably nobody even changed his son neither.
Yeah.
The girlfriend just sitting there all distraught and whatnot, and they're mad at Doughboy. Doughboy didn't do this.
Yeah.
Doughboy tried to stop it.
The mother must have been fucked up because like 2 weeks later he gets killed too.
Yeah.
Doughboy gets killed. So her son, she had no more kids.
No more kids. Yeah, she only got her grandchild to raise. Yeah. And Doughboy, that's another thing. That's another Stand By Me parallel. Because when he fades out at the end, after the caption reads 2 weeks later he was murdered, that happened in Stand By Me as well, too.
Oh, it did. I haven't seen that movie in a while. I got to rewatch it.
Yeah. All right, Peter River Phoenix. Yeah. There's a lot of things going on in this film, too. I mean, I could talk forever about this film. Like, what's it called? Like, Ice Cube. The role for Doughboy was specifically written for Ice Cube because John Singleton met him when he was an intern on the Arsenio Hall show. Because Singleton was interning as like a production assistant or camera work.
And Cube was a guest.
Yeah, Cube was a guest, yeah. He was doing a lot of things before that. But Singleton didn't know that he was a member of the NWA at the time. And like I said before,
they connected them.
They connected because of that.
Yeah, okay.
And like I said before, Cuba Gooding and Morris Chestnut, they got casted because they were the first people to show up to the audition. And Lawrence Fishburne. Singleton met Lawrence Fishburne at Pee-wee's Playhouse when he was a production assistant.
Singleton's from Compton too, right?
Yeah, he's from Compton, L.A. He's from L.A. somewhere.
Okay. Cuba's from Compton. So who's from Crenshaw in that crew?
Let's see. I want to say Morris. No, not Morris Chestnut.
No, okay. But anyway, in reality, like the heyday when that gang violence and shit was at its prime.
Fishburne.
Compton was mainly Bloods and and Crenshaw was mainly Crips.
Yeah.
So.
Fishburne and Bassett, they're from New York City. Everybody else is from Cali, more or less. Even though Nia Long, she was born in Iowa. And they mentioned that in the film. It showed up. It showed up in Iowa, where there are hardly any black people.
It's true. I've been.
You been to Iowa?
Yeah, I have.
And this film right here, what's it called? It was a sleeper hit. It was a low budget urban film that was only intended to have a small release until two events happened. The film appeared to mass acclaim at the Cannes Film Festival, and Columbia Pictures, their big summer film from '91 was supposed to be Radio Flyer with Elijah Wood and what's his face, Tom Hanks, but because Radio Flyer kept getting pushed back because of reshoots, it led to Columbia giving Boyz N Tha Hood the summer spot, and even against violent big budget films during that summer like Terminator 2 and Robin Hood.
Came out that year too.
And Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Yeah, it still managed to gross over $50 million.
Got you.
And it launched the black film industry in the 90s.
One thing too, I forgot to another element I noticed this time around watching. I never noticed in the past.
Shoot.
The element that the black community is not a monolith.
Yeah.
Black people relate to their own, like every other race. Black people relate to their experiences, where people come from the same background, same experiences. Prime example was a recruiter that came to visit.
Oh, Ricky, yeah.
He clearly didn't come from the hood. And you can tell by the dialogue between him and
the people outside.
The people outside and the people inside, too. Like, when he found out Ricky had a kid, he was like, what the fuck?
Oh.
He was shocked, too. He was like, oh, like.
Thought it was a little brother at first.
Yeah. So, like, a lot of times I hear, like, on TV the critique about why, there's so many successful black people on TV. Why so many successful black people on TV? Why aren't, like, black children or people in the hood taking that as inspiration? A lot of times, some of the people aren't necessarily from the same backgrounds. So a lot of times they will relate more to people that they know come from a similar background that has made it as inspiration.
True.
Which is why, like,
it's similar. Like you said, black people were not a monolith. Like, what's it called? I think the Cosby Show. That's one thing that proved that as well too.
Exactly. That's a perfect example. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, before that, we just had like 227, Good Times, basically hood black shows, but they showed that black people can be dignified, and educated, and carry themselves in a manner that's for lack of a better term, comparable to white people.
Yeah. That's why, like, a hood child would not relate to someone like me coming up.
No.
We didn't grow up in the hood, but like someone like, for instance, someone like Marshawn Lynch, who is from the hood, still has hood tendencies, he's doing a lot to get kids out of the hood. They will take more towards him, versus if me and you were to go to the hood and be like, hey, let's do.
You think I'll get mad if I ever give him some Skittles?
That's my dog. I'll talk to him for you, dog.
I bet.
Nah, but he will be mad. He cool people. But like people like that have the audience or influence on their audience. We have our influence on our audience of younger aspiring black people. So like a lot of times people just we all are black people, but we're not. We don't think.
We're
also diverse within the diaspora, within the complexion.
Yeah, we all have different personalities, interests, color.
Yeah, I think he subtly threw that in there with the recruiter because he could have made that a white person.
He could have, It would have been more awkward if it was a white guy. Yeah. They specifically said that black dude would have been there.
Yeah, of course.
And who else we didn't talk about? Cheryl with the crackhead.
Oh,
with
the
babies in the streets.
Yes.
You got some blow? You got some rock? Yes. I'll suck your dick. Like, bitch, take care of your children.
Yeah. And I forgot to even mention that, like, when he was schooling them about gentrification, he also talked about, how crack rock and cocaine
gets in the country.
Yeah, it didn't land in the hood through black people.
Nah.
Because we didn't have access to it.
No.
So like
what's it called? Like even in Snowfall where he took it further. Like where he finally said, okay, the CIA did this shit. The CIA put the coke in the hood. Yeah, and in the hood they learned how to make crack from that.
Yep, exactly.
So like, thank you, George H.W. Bush.
Yeah. Yeah. And what you call it for that matter.
Reagan?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was doing that. It was right around their transition.
It was, yes, it was. Some other facts about the film. According to John Singleton, Ice Cube's NWA group members, they were supposed to play the parts of his friends, Monster, Chris, Dookie.
Yeah.
But because Ice Cube was beefing with them at the time when he left, that didn't go through.
I see.
Will Smith, he turned down the role of Trey because of his commitment to the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Eddie Murphy, he was considered for the role of Furious.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And many of the people in the film were based on people in John Singleton's life, a self-hating black cop.
Yeah.
I mean, Singleton, like we said before, Singleton felt it was critical to show this officer to show how racist black people could be towards their own people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Trey, like I said earlier, Trey was based on him.
Uncle Ruckus syndrome.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Somebody reminded me of Uncle Ruckus. Oh, Steven from Django, Samuel L. Jackson's character.
Yeah, that's basically what he was.
He's a thinner version of Uncle Ruckus.
That's basically what he was.
Same balding pattern, everything.
Yeah, that's basically what he was.
No, Calvin!
That's basically what he was.
And Singleton.
Yo-Yo was in that movie too.
Yeah.
I saw her at the cookout.
And
Rapper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Singleton, like Trey, he was also said to live with his father when he was 12 years old. And his dad was also a mortgage broker like Furious.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
like gave him some structure.
He gave him structure, kept him out of trouble, which is how he went to college. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I do miss John Singleton. I do miss his films.
Sure, it was genius.
And this was a good film. It was definitely the archetype for a lot of hood films.
Yep.
Including parodies like "Don't Be a Menace to South Central."
Yeah.
Where they had not only did they have a parody of Trey and Furious in the film, but also a parody of the self-hating black cop, where Bernie Mac played him, and his name was Officer Self-Hatred.
Yeah.
I hate my black gums.
Yeah.
I hate that black ass Whoopi Goldberg. I hate black pepper.
Yeah.
And they get the blackest dude to play that self-hating cop.
I know.
On purpose.
They did that on purpose. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Imagine if they got Charlie. Imagine if they got Charlie Murphy for that character.
He would have worked for that. I think he would have worked for that too. But this guy was perfect.
He was perfect too.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah.
Check
that movie out if you want to know a little bit about the culture, because a lot of those elements are still present and relevant today.
Excuse me, I need to go get another drink.
Go ahead.
Want something else?
I'm fine, bro. I appreciate it. But yeah, if you haven't checked Boyz N Tha Hood out, go check it out. A lot of the elements of society for black people are still very prevalent today. So a lot of the problems in that movie are still very prevalent today in the hood and in inner city communities.
Inner city community. It's like if you go to damn near any town, any hood in America or whatever, you'll find elements of this in there.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, but let's go months later in 1991, in November. We're going to be talking about Survivor Series 1991. And we've covered the very first Survivor Series before, but as something of a refresher, the Survivor Series, it originally was created to be the Thanksgiving tradition, as the first 8 Survivor Series events took place either on Thanksgiving Day from 87 to 1990 or on Thanksgiving Eve from 91 to 94. Since the 95 event, however, which took place down here in Landover, Maryland at the former U.S. Air Arena, the Survivor Series has been held on various Sundays before Thanksgiving.
I did not know it was even... Honestly, in 95, I didn't even know I was going to move to Maryland.
Yeah, I still watched wrestling back then, but I just do not recall. Do not recall it being in Landover.
Yeah, me neither.
And I would have begged my dad to go give me a ticket because we've gone to so many wrestling events there over the years.
I've never been to a wrestling event there, but I've been to Wizards games, Bullets games at the time.
Yeah. And
some concerts.
Before it was U.S. Air Arena, it was the Capitol Center with the Pringle-shaped dome.
When I moved, it was still U.S. Air.
Yeah. It just transitioned to that.
In 95.
Mm-hmm. As the Survivor Series is the final pay-per-view event of the year, it's usually presented as a chance to settle feuds or begin new ones. And the event of the Survivor Series is traditionally characterized by Survivor Series matches, which are group tag team elimination matches that typically feature teams of 4 or 5 wrestlers against each other. And stipulations over the years have been added to these events, like members of the losing team being fired, for example. Now, the 91 Survivor Series, that was the 5th annual Survivor Series, taking place on November 27th, 1991, in Detroit, Michigan at the Joe Louis Arena. It was the first Survivor Series where all the matches were not scheduled as Survivor Series matches. The undercard featured the 4 traditional Survivor Series elimination matches, but the main event was a WWF Championship match between Hulk Hogan, the champion, against the Undertaker in what was dubbed the Gravest Challenge.
Shout out to the Undertaker.
Yeah, Taker, he had come to the WWF a year prior in the 1990 Survivor Series, and at this point he was still undefeated. Yeah, people didn't know what to make of him. Like, heel. Well, he definitely wasn't a face, but they couldn't make him out as a heel either, as nobody booed for him.
Yeah.
They just stared at him.
Yeah, that's true.
They were in awe.
That's so true. Like, he never was really booed. People would just stare, and kids used to be frightened.
Yeah, like the theme music.
Yeah.
And like the way
he was cold, man.
Yeah, Mark Calloway, he stayed.
Cold.
He really. That character is his.
I love, especially around this time. This was my favorite. I mean, when he became officially a face, he was still fun. But this era of him was just. I love this era of him. He was cold. He just was.
I thought he was indestructible.
Practically unstoppable, though. I loved it.
The way he got up, like, I remember this match on, like, WWF Wrestling Challenge, where him against the Berserker, John Nord.
Yeah.
Where with the Berserker,
that was a big motherfucker. He was a big dude.
And he just pile drive Taker onto the concrete, just pulled up the pads outside and put him on concrete. And it was a double DQ. It was a double count out, but Taker still got right back up.
You're like, yo, he got up.
What the fuck?
He's unstoppable. Yeah.
Like on concrete. And
by then, he was probably a face. If he was fighting the Berserker.
Nah. He was still
like in between.
In between, yeah. Yeah, and also for this Survivor Series of storylines, let's see, Ric Flair, he arrived in the WWF in September, claiming to be the real world champion.
Legend.
Yeah, he debuted in the WWF carrying the WCW belt with him. Basically, it was his at that point because they didn't pay him the money that they owed him, so he's like, fuck it, I'm keeping this, y'all pay me. And McMahon let him show that belt on live WWF programming. If you look at it now, they just blur it out and put like a black block over it. But not back then when it first aired. It's like, oh, that's ballsy. That's ballsy.
I remember Longer Blaze did the same thing.
Yeah, she dumped her belt in the trash when she got the WCW.
But it didn't really matter because by then he had discontinued the
women's title. Yeah,
so that's why she was mad. Because he discontinued. She was like, fuck it, I'm leaving too.
And Medusa, and she just went back to being Medusa.
Exactly.
The, what else happened? Yeah, Piper, Flair immediately began feuding with Rowdy Piper, and for this event, both men would be captains of their teams. Taker, he had
a funny match.
Yeah, that was funny. Taker had an undefeated streak since joining the WWF back in last year's Survivor Series, and that earned him a title shot against Hogan. Now, Sid Justice, he was originally going to join the Big Boss Man and the Legion of Doom, while Jake the Snake Roberts, he was originally scheduled to join IRS and the Natural Disasters. But Sid, he suffered an elbow injury, and the Macho Man was campaigning to take Sid's spot due to his feud with Jake Roberts, which began at SummerSlam of that year with him showing up to the wedding and putting that Cobra Snake up in there.
Yeah.
And what's it called? Savage, he got reinstated recently after losing that career-ending match at WrestleMania 7 to the Ultimate Warrior. Oh, yeah, and also on Superstars, I'll never forget this shit, where Jake Roberts, he was already a heel at this point. He baited Randy Savage into coming into the ring, which was defanged, but they still managed to have some blood in there, or rather devenomed, at least.
Yeah. He still got a fever from it.
Yeah. But for this event, Randy Savage, he would not be reinstated for Survivor Series. And Jake the Snake, he was not allowed to compete due to his actions here. But they still showed them both for interviews where Jake the Snake had his heel music, trust me.
Yeah.
Trust me. And had that earring and that ugly sweater. I'm like, Christmas ain't till next month, nigga.
No bullshit. Shout out to Jake the Snake, because he has sustained a certain character and personality from the time he got into the WWE to the time he left. That straight, maniacal, mysterious, almost two-faced type of character. Mm-hmm. Even when he was a face, he had that kind of.
He did have it, like he didn't know where his loyalties lie.
Yeah, exactly.
He is a snake, it's right there in his name.
Exactly.
But let's see the matches. Ric Flair, the Mountie, the $1 Million Man, and the Warlord, who also had Mr. Perfect, Jimmy Hart, Sensational Sherry, and Dr. Harvey Whippleman in their corner. They beat Rowdy Piper, Bret Hart, Virgil, and the British Bulldog, with Ric Flair being the sole survivor. Everybody else got counted out.
It's like, what kind of decision is that? I watched it recently. I was like, wait, that was the dumbest decision ever.
It was.
Like, because he was like, what?
He was the only one in the ring, so it's like the referee had no choice.
Yeah.
But there was no stipulation of these elimination matches.
Yeah, precisely.
Sergeant Slaughter, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, who were a tag team back then, a pro-American tag team.
They won the title?
No, they never did. They were with the Texas Tornado and Tito Santana. Santana was on his way to becoming the Matador at this point. Yeah, they defeated Colonel Mustafa, the Berserker, Skinner, and Hercules Hernandez. Trash team. Yeah, who had in their corner, Mr. Fuji and General Adnan. General Adnan, that was what's it called? That was Iron Sheik, or was it Mustafa?
Mustafa was Iron Sheik.
Okay. Yeah, the Sergeant Slaughter, their whole team survived. Next, and they didn't put the matches in like a certain order. Like you think that the WWF Championship match would be last, but it wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah, Undertaker defeated Hulk Hogan for the championship. Thank you, Ric Flair.
Best match.
He just came out, put the chair in there. I was cheering. It's like, do it. Thank you.
You know what? You could tell at that time, a lot of the fans were fucking tired of Hogan.
They were. I was.
When Undertaker won the match, they were all cheering for him.
Yeah, and Hogan, the way he had to be pulled out of the ring like he was seriously injured.
You said he complained after the match?
He complained after
his head didn't even touch the fucking chair, dog.
And Taker even says now that was the safest tombstone ever.
No, but that's why you watch it again.
Yeah.
Just that match. When he delivers a tombstone, Hogan's head doesn't even touch the chair, dog.
I think that even though they were supposed to have a match. Oh, speaking of this, at this event right here, Survivor Series, they were heavily promoting another event that happened 6 days later, this Tuesday in Texas.
That's true.
Yeah, that was the experiment. There was they were trying to make Tuesday as an alternative pay-per-view event as opposed to Sunday, but the experiment failed massively.
Oh, that was what that was.
Yeah,
and then, cause I was like, this is the first time I've ever, like, looking back in retrospect, I was like, this is the first time I've ever seen them have such a quick turnover pay-per-view right after one that they just did. Yeah,
it was a failed experiment because people already dropped their hard-earned money on Survivor
Series. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
they should have waited like another month.
Another month. Yeah, it's like unless you got the money, people aren't. And that's another thing. Low attendance, low pay-per-view sales.
Yeah.
And it's like the proximity to Survivor Series.
Yeah, it was like, you have to build stuff up. That's the whole point of pay-per-view. Build feuds and shit.
Exactly. But they did not even try that. And plus, the main event match that they rescheduled, like Taker against Hogan. I don't think Hogan was supposed to win it this Tuesday in Texas neither. He complained.
Oh, so Vince bit.
Yeah, but then Jack Tunney had to jump in and be like, because of the controversial finishes at Survivor Series, and here Hogan, you don't get the belt neither. He vacated that belt the next night. Yeah. Like good, because I could not stand to hear Hogan win the belt a fourth time.
Yeah.
But
considering in the 80s, he held that title for like 3 years, dog.
He did. Bob Backlund held it for 6, but he didn't really wrestle anybody.
Back then, it wasn't like he held it when it wasn't in the golden age.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't the beautiful evil title.
Yeah.
Which it later became.
Yeah.
Also, in the last match was the Nasty Boys and the Beverly Brothers. They beat the Rockers and the Bushwhackers. Yeah, they were the survivor. Well, the Nasty Boys and Blake Beverly, they were the sole survivors. And finally, the Legion of Doom and the Big Boss Man. Yeah, they beat IRS and the Natural Disasters with the LOD being the sole survivors.
Rockers feud started.
It did. You see it here. Here when Marty Jannetty, he accidentally got Shawn Michaels eliminated. Yeah. Yeah, you can see the Rockers were having tension here.
Yeah.
And it continued and culminated in the infamous barbershop segment 2 months later in January 12th, 92. Happy 9th birthday, by the way.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Anyway, and speaking of the Rockers feud, a feud was supposed to happen between Michaels and Jannetty right after that. But Marty Jannetty, he was fired from the company for coke possession and beating an officer.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Marty Jannetty got fired from the company for drug possession and for assaulting a police officer.
I see.
Yeah, they brought him back months later in the fall that year, where he hit Sherry with the mirror.
Yeah, I remember that.
But by then it's like really, if you were a wrestling fan that was in the know at that point, you'd be like, who cares?
Yeah.
But me, I didn't know no better. I was just excited to see him.
Yeah, they could have done more. He was a great wrestler.
He was.
He just didn't have the same charisma as Shawn.
Nah, he didn't, or Shawn's flair for backstage politics.
That too.
Yeah, that's how Shawn Michaels got over a lot, really, because he cried to Vince in order to make it so that he didn't have to put anybody over.
That ended up building his career slowly until he was established, and then it was a no-brainer. He became Hogan, basically.
Pretty much, yeah. That's how he described the Clique. What we do is no different than Hogan, Savage, or those guys in the 80s. But the difference is we're friends. We like each other.
Did Savage also cry?
Savage didn't cry. Nah, that's the thing. It's like
I felt like he was very business. Like everyone that has a take on him, he was very like.
He was all about. He was professional.
Yeah, exactly. He was professional in business. Whereas Hogan, I heard.
Hogan would cry like what's it called? Let me win the match, Vince. Let me win the match.
Yeah.
Although some things like Bret Hart was very professional too, and I don't begrudge Bret Hart for not wanting to lose during the Montreal screw job in his home country. I get that.
I agree with that too.
I agree. It's a matter of pride.
Yeah.
And how it looks.
And respect.
Yeah.
It's his home.
Yeah, but they had to fuck him over. They had to screw him over. Vince, no, he does not. Even people that never watched pro wrestling, they were like this. I never watched it, but I can tell Vince McMahon he's a morally scrupulous
man. He's fucked up, dog.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. Wait, what are your thoughts on this?
This event is a 4 out of 10. That's some shit. And the only saving grace was Ric Flair, his charisma and his presence.
I love his presence throughout the thing.
And I love how Roddy Piper, when he shot on the air, when later in the event, where he compared Flair to the Addams Family or Cousin It or whatever.
Yeah.
Hogan losing, that was great too.
I love that. Oh, two good parts about it.
And Michaels, the breakup being hinted at with the Rockers. I'm like, in retrospect, that was good too. They sold that.
Worst Survivor Series of its time. I mean, I know later on you can argue some of the later ones were, but given, I guess, between 87 to maybe 93.
93 was what?
That was the one with the Foreign Fanatics and.
Oh right, yeah.
What was that 94?
What was the one where Bret Hart had all of his family members and Owen got eliminated?
I think that was 93.
Yeah, that's sort of a feud between Bret and Owen.
Owen, yeah. Because they fought in WrestleMania. Or was it Royal Rumble in 94?
I'll give him a fight, Vince. I'll give him a damn good fight.
Yeah, so that was 93. So, yeah. Would that be arguably your worst Survivor Series?
Up to this point, this was the worst Survivor Series. I mean, I know why the change was done, adding a main event in there, because they felt like the previous ones were too repetitive. Yeah. And by adding a title match, it breaks the monotony. But it makes the event feel like a big deal again. And it did, I guess, for subsequent events later.
I feel like the next one was worse. But we might get that take it later another time.
And another thing, not only was this the first Survivor Series to air on Thanksgiving Eve, it was also Hulk Hogan's final Survivor Series.
Ah, good riddance.
Yes. And Jack Tunney, I miss this when he would just come on. Yeah. Whenever you saw Jack Tunney on screen, you know something serious was about to go down.
Yeah, that's true. That's so true. Yeah.
What you rated? What's your thoughts?
I think a 4 or 5 is fair.
4 or 5? Okay.
4 or 5 is fair. It definitely was the worst leading up to it. Like 87 was by far better. 88 was by far better. 89 was even okay. 90 was way better than that. Yeah. And 91.
Even with the gobbledygooker.
Yeah, exactly. It was still much better. But I personally think 92 was worse than 91. And then I think I'm not sure, but I think based on how bad 92 was, they went back to the traditional tags in 93.
Yeah, they did, but it was off and on later on. Like by 98, they got rid of them entirely.
Yeah, entirely. Yeah.
I mean, they had an elimination tournament, but it didn't involve no groups.
I think part of the reason why it also failed is the element of the tag team was starting to fade out too. So
all these group tag teams and wrestlers that otherwise wouldn't have nothing to do with each other, even as faces or heels.
Exactly, they weren't. I think that's what that ultimately also
it mismatched. Like Hogan with a Demolition and Jake the Snake.
Yeah.
I mean, they're faces, but it's like these faces don't work together.
Exactly. So I think eventually that opened the door to the Attitude Era, and also the audience that were watching wrestling in that time were also growing with the entertainment. So we outgrew that shit too. So that also helped open the door for the Attitude Era. But like you said, as it was progressing through the years, like less of the faces were affiliated with each other, and less of the heels were affiliated with each other, even though they were faces and heels.
Right.
Like they were all very much individuals, as opposed to being cliques or a team or like people that F with each other. So, whatever.
Yeah, this event was a 4 out of 10 for me. I plan on visiting the subsequent Survivor Series as well too. Yeah. Because I didn't see all of them in the 90s, even with the free pay-per-view.
Me too. I feel like after 93, it becomes a blur. Up until the Montreal Screwjob. Like I don't remember which was which. It just kind of faded out.
And we've talked about the Screwjob, but not the actual event itself.
Yeah, you're right. Like I don't even know what the sequence of matches were.
Me neither.
Leading to it.
Me neither. Let's get it. That one takes precedent because of the controversy.
Yeah.
That's still prevalent to this day.
Absolutely.
Even with the parties that have admitted their part in there, Shawn Michaels and all them.
Yep. Triple H.
Yeah, it was a watershed moment in professional wrestling.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it. So, but yeah, outside of the Gravest challenge, and maybe Flair's match, which was funny to me.
Yeah. And Flair continued in the WWF.
Yeah, true story.
Because the next pay-per-view event, he wins the WWF title.
Greatest.
I still say that Royal Rumble was funny as hell because Macho Man, his view with Jake the Snake Roberts. Jake gets eliminated.
Oh, yeah, Savage jumps over.
He doesn't jump over. He just leaves you the middle of the rope and just goes to beat him some more.
Yeah.
And Taker's like, come back in here. First of all, you can't eliminate yourself. And secondly, you didn't even eliminate yourself properly. Get back in there.
Get back in there. And who eliminates him when he goes back in?
That wasn't Taker.
It wasn't Taker, somebody else.
Somebody else, yeah.
He was one of the last people eliminated.
Taker?
No, Savage.
Yeah, he
was like one of the last 4 or 5 to be eliminated.
It was Hogan, Sid Vicious, or Sid Justice.
Flair. Savage, I feel like was in there.
Shawn Michaels
and Flair. No, Shawn Michaels and Savage were one of the last as well.
Because remember in the 1990 Royal Rumble, Shawn Michaels got eliminated quick.
Yeah. That's true.
How do you get? I'm like,
he came in and came right back and kicked it right back out.
They must have given him some money to placate his ego for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I don't see Shawn Michaels just getting. You just don't get rid of Shawn Michaels like that
easily.
Even a rocker Shawn Michaels, he was still good.
He was still good. Yeah, still good. So.
Yeah, man. But Survivor Series 1991, yeah, a 4.
Garbage.
I turned my doorknob.
Yes, sir.
All right. And finally, you ready for this one, boy?
Yes, sir.
All right, finally, we're going to be talking about Season 1 of Dexter. Dexter, it was a crime drama series developed by James Mano Jr. and loosely based on the novels by Jeff Lindsay, Darkly Dreaming Dexter. It ran for 8 seasons. It debuted on Showtime on October 1st, 2006, and ended on September 22nd, 2013. The same day Breaking Bad ended, by the way. Yeah, between them two, it's like, okay.
Shout out to Heisenberg, bro.
Dexter came out first, but it's like, okay, this finale sucked. I hope Breaking Bad is better. And thank God it was.
It was.
Yeah.
Did you watch the New Blood?
I did. Dexter New Blood, that was crap.
It was trash?
It was trash, yeah. And I know they wanted to make an epilogue for Dexter considering how bad the series ended with season 8. Mm-hmm. But New Blood, that was terrible.
Is it discontinued now?
Yeah, it's done now.
Okay.
Yeah, only the first 5 seasons of Dexter were any good.
Okay.
But for season 1, okay, the premise of Dexter, it's set in Miami, at the Miami-Dade Metro Police Department, which makes me wonder, what's it called? Where's Miami Vice? Where's Crockett and Tubbs? Y'all should have a crossover with them. They're the same department. Anyway, Dexter, he's introduced as a blood spatter analyst for the Miami Metro Homicide Department, which is his day job. But by night, he's a serial killer. But he only be killing other serial killers, though. People who've escaped justice, who can't get caught by the court and committed egregious crimes.
Vigilante serial killer.
He's a vigilante serial killer, yeah. But he's also mentally unstable too. because of some childhood shit that happened. And his foster father, Harry, who's a cop, basically noticed this and taught him how to blend in and how to kill without getting caught.
That concept was loosely based on Jeffrey Dahmer. Some of his character, I saw a lot of parallels with Jeffrey Dahmer.
Like what?
His urge to kill early.
Yeah.
His dad spotting that. Jeffrey's dad spotted that when he was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Helping him kind of satisfy that urge with animals as opposed to human beings. Mm-hmm. Jeffrey's dad did a lot of that too. And just kind of help him mask that weirdness, but not as extreme as this. This is a little more extreme. His dad didn't know the extent of how crazy Jeffrey was. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, his dad also admitted that he had these same traits.
Yeah.
He just was able to suppress them and never actually put them into fruition, like how Jeffrey Dahmer can actually kill people. His dad admitted that when he was young, he also had a weird urge to kill.
Yeah, but he had no way to direct it to channel it as something socially beneficial.
Yes, exactly.
Because what Dexter does is basically community service.
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah.
Yeah, more or less.
I mean, this season, you got, and plus with Dexter, with this being the first season, you gotta have a real dark sense of humor to appreciate some of this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's not for the faint of heart. They show blood. Oh, the blood. Yeah,
a lot of blood.
A lot of blood.
He's a blood forensic specialist, right?
He is, yeah. He's a blood spatter handler. He's an expert on blood.
Yeah.
And they have, and it's rounded out by a cast of characters. Deborah, his sister, his foster sister, who's also a cop, played by Jennifer Carpenter.
She was in The Exorcism of somebody.
Yeah, Emily Rose. That's the movie that made her famous before this.
Yeah, I remember her face.
Yeah. And she married the guy that plays Dexter, Michael C. Hall. They were married for the first 6 years of the show.
Oh.
Yeah, they met here.
He reminds me of Greg Olsen, the NFL player.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. He used to play for the Panthers and the Bears.
Funny you say the Panthers, because Michael C. Hall's from Raleigh.
Oh, really?
From North Carolina.
He definitely looks like Greg Olsen, former NFL tight end.
And Michael C. Hall, he was famous before this for playing in 6 Feet Under, which was also darkly funny.
See if I can even get you a picture so see if you agree or disagree.
All right, bring it up.
Yeah.
Who else? What's her face? Lauren Velez. She plays.
Yeah, she was a cute little sergeant or whatever.
She was a captain or lieutenant. LaGuerta. Like she's too office politics for me. I'm like, I didn't like her.
She was. And the black dude was annoying too.
Dokes, Eric King, Sergeant Dokes. Surprise, motherfucker. He just mean. He hate a little, but older.
But this
older.
Is, yeah.
He does kind of look like Michael C. Hall, yeah. Or rather, yeah, he does look like Michael C. Hall. Hall's older. He's 50.
Yeah.
I can see it. Yeah, the smile, and the hair.
Yeah. I was like, wait, who's this Greg Olsen looking motherfucker? But yeah.
Yeah, Dokes is funny though. Dokes, he never smiles. He's always angry. He's an angry black man. Yeah, and he tries to fight Dexter at that shipyard. It gets worse in the later seasons.
It does, huh?
Yeah, it does. Dokes, surprise, motherfucker.
I'll see if I continue. I actually enjoyed season 1 because I thought it was well written. The plot twists at the end were crazy. I was like, wow.
Oh yeah, you saw with his brother.
Yeah, his brother. I was like, that motherfucker's his brother.
Yeah, I didn't expect that neither.
Yeah, they share the same traits of urge to kill
because they were in the same spot when their mother got chainsawed.
Yes, so they had the same trauma and shit.
Why were they even there? I never understood. They never explained that.
Explained that shit.
Lady, why did you bring your kids to that kind of a deal if you knew you were gonna get killed?
Yeah, and Dexter had to pick between him and his
foster sister. Yeah.
So
his blood brother, literal blood brother.
Yeah, and the stepsister. So he ended up picking her.
And we see
and
why.
That still fucks him up, I guess, going into this next season.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, because what's it called? He has Harry. They didn't really show this in season 1, but Harry, his foster father, he has a vision of Harry in his head that guides whatever he does.
Yeah. It's like it's his sense of sanity almost.
Yes. His dark
lack thereof.
His dark passenger, as he calls it.
Yeah.
And Brian, or rather his image of his brother, begins to take that during season 2.
Oh.
Temporarily takes Harry's place.
Okay.
Like his moral compass.
Yeah, okay.
And other characters in the show. Masuka, his
Asian guy?
Yeah, who's always very pervy, always in the kinky sex shit. Every season I kept thinking, is there anything sexual this motherfucker's not into?
Yeah. Ironically, he wasn't sexual at all.
Dexter?
Dexter.
No, he's not. That's why he had Rita, who was not sexual either, and it was perfect for him.
Until she actually wanted
sex.
Here's the thing, like, I got that she had the PTSD from her abusive husband, ex-husband.
Did you recognize him?
Yeah, he was from Terminator.
No, Mark Pellegrino.
Wasn't he from Terminator?
No,
Ghost. Was it Ghost? Who's the one from Ghost in there?
The therapist.
The therapist was from Ghost.
That was Tony Goldwyn, because Tony Goldwyn's family helped produce Dexter as well too.
So okay, yeah, from the guy from Ghost. Who's the?
Mark Pellegrino. You don't remember him? Rippin' brother, Randy.
Oh, he was his brother.
No Holds Barred, yeah.
Hogan's brother.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit, I wouldn't have got that. I wouldn't have gotten that. Good one. I wouldn't have gotten that. But like, yeah, what was I even? What was I even on? What was I saying before? Yes, her, the wife of his girlfriend.
Rita, yeah.
I get that he was like, yeah, this is a perfect situation because she's traumatized by sex because she was being raped.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if you're emotionally involved with a woman, even if she's not even if she has trauma with that, or like, or it's not has like a big sexual drive, at some point she's going to want to feel felt and like wanted by her significant other. So at some point, whether she's into sex or not, she wants to at least know that you
are interested in her.
Yes,
you like her,
and
like
you
that.
want her. Like, she wants to feel desired.
So
I don't know what he was thinking.
Well, he did. It was awkward between them both in the season. Like, she tried to initiate sex.
Yeah, when she was Lara Croft, he was like, "Who are you supposed to be?"
And then when he tried to put his hand between her legs, she wasn't having it neither.
Right.
It's like it's got to be the right place, right time, bro. And it's like they even showed during his childhood when that girl, when he was just raking the leaves. It's like, what's up? Are you going to the dance? Why would I do that? She walks away. And it's probably like she wanted you to ask her out.
Yeah.
Why did you say so? You got to read signs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's your father trying to help you blend in.
Yeah. Yeah, basically.
And that girl was cute too.
She was. She
Mm-hmm.
was.
But
she gave him a blowjob.
Rita?
Yeah.
She did, yeah.
Yeah,
eventually.
so like that he used to at least make him feel like, yes, at least maybe she thinks I do like her, or I want to have sex with her.
Yeah, because everything he does is calculated to blend in, even bringing donuts to work.
Yeah, and he gets his sexual gratification is from the murders.
Yeah,
which is also a Dharma thing.
Yeah, I mean, he kills to satisfy an urge, really. Yeah, and it's like, but he kills the people. He kills the people that the courts can't get.
Yes,
like I said,
also serial killers.
Yeah, like the first person he killed in the very first scene of the pilot.
Yeah,
was a pedophile.
The pedophile guy with the boys' school.
Like, look, no, yes.
Right.
There's a lot of dark humor in here. Even his narration, his voiceover is a lot.
Yeah. Pretty funny. They're all pretty funny.
But the mystery of this season, like the ice truck killer.
Yeah,
like,
which is his brother.
Draining the blood.
Yeah. Like, he understood it.
He understood.
So he was just playing. He was almost like the Riddler.
He was, yes.
Yeah, it was almost like the Riddler.
And it worked because it was really like pulling at his subconscious things that he's forgotten about.
Exactly.
Like leaving body parts at a scene from his childhood.
Yeah.
And oh my goodness, the ice truck killer, even this. He was cold.
Hell yeah. No pun intended. Or pun intended, should I say.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
The scene where where he finally revealed himself to Deborah and was on the boat with her, just all casual, talking about.
Is this the one where he kidnaps her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, Rudy, this isn't you. Pretty sure it is.
I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah.
Don't be upset. You won't be the only one fooling Deborah.
It's a bit disturbing that people could actually think of something this intricate.
Well, look,
it's a great show. Like the plot twist with Gangster.
I do like the show. I mean,
it is well written, well done. Like, you definitely go for a loop, and then like when you find out, you're like, what the fuck? This gets even deeper.
Yeah, it gets even deeper.
But it's disturbing that somebody would actually think like this in real life to write a script like this. But
it is, and a lot of shit going on in there, like other characters. Batista, who thinks he's Dexter's best friend.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and but what's it called? Like when he gets injured by the ice truck killer, gets stabbed. It's like everybody is like all hands on deck.
Exactly.
Even Masuka, like Deborah was like, "You're not gonna make a titty joke." It's like, our friend just got stabbed.
Right.
You might die. Like Masuka Fields.
Yeah, Masuka Fields, man.
Yeah, they go into more character development with a lot of these characters in later seasons too. Okay. Deborah, I like Deborah. She curses. I like a woman who can curse.
Yeah, she does curse.
I like a woman who can curse more than me. But her, it's like she kind of overdoes it. Holy motherfucker, that's good.
She does say that, doesn't she? What is the episode?
Yeah. And Dexter's like, I think you may have broken a commandment there. Yeah, I know. Deborah, she's funny though.
She is funny. She was playing as a disguised hooker before she was transferred to
Homicide. Yeah, she was in Vice. Yeah, and Jennifer Carpenter played that part well because you see how she portrayed Deborah as too nervous to speak up in front of LaGuerta, and LaGuerta just clowns her. Yeah. Oh, you mean your hookers?
Yeah, like, exactly.
Bitch, what you got against her for?
Yeah, exactly.
And Matthews, the main cop in there, he's like, like Maria, I made you. Okay, before that,
that's the one that was beefing with the Spanish.
Latina. Yeah. He's like, Maria, I made you.
He was a threat to her.
He was a threat to her.
Yeah.
They had like that kind of relationship throughout the series.
Yeah.
Really.
Oh, really?
Yeah, where she plays politics against him, he plays it against her, and like what's it called? Because this season, the way it ended is like what he did to her. He removes her as lieutenant. This is fucking overtime.
He replaces her basically.
With that other lady. But if you watch season 2, you'll see what LaGuerta does. Okay. Yeah, she is just like wow.
She actually wanted to smash Dexter.
She did. She was flirting with him like crazy.
Yeah, she wanted to smash Dexter.
Can I do something for you? Oh, a lot of things.
I'm like, Dexter, dog. That's who you should be with.
That's who you should be with. Yeah, she's thicker and she knows what she's doing in bed. Yeah. Rita looks like she would try too hard.
Right. And she got full lips. Just saying.
Yeah, I enjoyed this season a lot. I mean, even going into Dexter's background, his childhood, even his biological father that left in the house.
Yeah.
The foster
kids. I forgot the police officer was not his real dad.
Yeah, Harry. He's adopted.
He's adopted,
Because Harry was the first on the scene when they found him in that blood in that compartment. Yeah. 3 days.
Yeah, crazy.
3 days, and they didn't even take Brian or what was his name? What was his name in the what was his name? His cover name, Rudy Cooper.
Rudy.
And funny thing, when he first appears, like what's it called? Like putting prosthetics onto his victim that he cut off.
Cut off. Yeah.
When we first see him, he's like, when he sees Deborah, he's like, I don't know, I might have to fight you for this.
Yeah.
I thought he'd be a minor character, but nah.
His sarcasm was crazy though. It was good.
Christian.
Very like, very subtle.
Very subtle.
But at the same time, like dry. Yeah.
Dry.
That's the way to put it. Dry.
He's like when Deborah goes to visit him when he's in the hospital. Like, and another thing, if his idea is fake, how is he working in there?
Yeah, exactly.
Because Rudy Cooper wasn't a doctor. They revealed that.
Right. No, he wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't.
Yeah. But when Deborah goes to see him, she's like, freeze. He's like, don't shoot. I'm armed. With what? Bad puns? Like, I love their dialogue.
It's great humor.
Great humor. And this show is food porn too. It's a lot of food, like a lot
of food, yeah.
A lot of Cuban food, like the pork sandwiches.
That's so true, yeah, that's so true.
And even
I didn't even catch that. Like
steaks. You see a lot of that.
Yeah, it's true.
Steaks. Like when Rudy comes over to Dexter's, like I had a fight with Deborah. Come on, bro, let me in. I got 2 porterhouses and some microbrews.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's enough for me.
Yeah.
Come on in. If you grill them, straight.
100%. You were able to check that steakhouse around
which one?
The one you were telling me about around Calverton. Was there a steakhouse that you were telling me about? Calverton. Near where the Lido's and stuff is.
Oh, the Calypso joint, the one that's on New Hampshire.
Did you ever mess with it yet?
I did twice already. I've had their lamb. I've had their burger. I'm still not sure. I want to do one more time. I want to have one of their steaks. Okay. Yeah, Calypso Steakhouse.
I still gotta check it out.
We should go there for dinner.
Yeah, 100. Yeah.
I went to fucking what's it called, Grill Marks earlier this week.
Okay, good.
It was good, but I think it turned my feces into sludge.
TMI! This guy.
I'm traumatized.
Hilarious, dog. Excuse size feces, dog. You'll defecate on something else, not on this show.
I'll find something to defecate on, I might. But I won't do it for Dexter.
Oh my god.
The only bodily fluids that matter on Dexter are blood.
Right. Exactly.
And what else was in there? Rita, his girlfriend, is a mother to Aster and Cody.
Yeah.
Who are her children with her abusive ex-husband, Paul.
Who he murders.
He murders later on.
Actually,
no, he doesn't even murder him later on. He doesn't do that later on. Actually, he gets him arrested and sent him back to jail.
That's what it was. He was arrested.
Yeah, because he did some.
That's right. Something with heroin or something.
He stuck a needle in his arm and called the cops. And when the cops showed up there, they had no choice but to think
Is it because he got busted? He got busted, right?
He got busted because of that.
No, as in like he did that. As in Dexter did that because he knew about Dexter. Is that why? Or was it because he just found him as a threat?
Found him as a threat to the wife and kid. And he was. Yeah. Going in there, and the wife had to hit him over the head with something and then take the kids in the middle of the night and leave. Yeah. And she gets in trouble for that. So, because he quickly filed a complaint about assault. Yeah. I'm like, this motherfucker. Legal manipulation.
And that was the whole point about the missing shoe.
Yeah.
Missing shoe, right?
That comes up later in season 2. That becomes a plot point in season 2.
But it was missing. He told her about it in season 1.
He did, yeah, but it becomes more of a plot point in season 2.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And she had a Theo, Malcolm Jamal Warner, as her lawyer.
Yeah. Shout out to the Cosby Show, if y'all know. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Every time I see him, I'm like, Theo, that's all you'll ever be to me. I don't care how old you get. I don't care what roles you take. Yeah. Theo.
Shout out to Theo.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what he's up to now.
He's still getting small roles looking right. Like what's it called? Like that dude that played the niece's husband on the Cosby Show, the father of...
he gets roles too, right?
Yeah, how he's on Power Book 2 as Tariq's lawyer. The light-skinned dude?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You see?
Yeah. That's true. He is his lawyer. Fuck, yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah, that's where he's from, Cosby Show.
Because before that, and it was heavily publicized that he was
That's so fucking true. I forgot about that. I didn't catch that.
Yeah. Before he got back into acting, he was basically just bagging groceries at, at a Trader Joe's.
Oh, really? That's what he did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
A lot of these dudes, like another guy, like that dude from E.T., like the Elliot's brother, his brother.
Oh, the older one.
The older one, yeah. He's a mailman.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow, nothing came up after.
I guess, yeah. He just got happy being a mailman. It's like, cool.
Yeah.
I mean, some people leave Hollywood and they find joy elsewhere.
I mean, it's not the end of the deal.
Not at all.
Yeah.
What else happened? Like lots of dark humor happened in this.
100%.
What's it called? The midgets, the elves or whatever.
Yeah.
God, Marsha, you're such a bitch.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, little folks, you're having a little spat.
This man said, okay, little ones, you're fucked up.
Well, they like to be called little people.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, but it's like they're like, you're having a little spat right now.
Yeah, I forgot about those guys, man.
And the Ice Truck Killer left some bodies at that scene. And I like how that was a clue of how they found him. What's it called? The one wrist that he left there. Yeah, we had trouble finding who identified it because it was called. There was no stump. He shaved it down. The hooker with the artificial hand. But he made her painted different nails like his mother.
Yeah. That's right. And he froze them.
He froze him, yeah. He froze him and like gave or rather, he gave a Barbie with like different colored nails to Dexter. Yeah, all them trying to taunt him to get him to realize his past.
Yeah.
Recap his memory, yeah, man.
What do you think would have happened if he had chosen his brother? You think they were going to kill the spree together or some shit?
Temporarily until he came to his senses. Dexter would have found some joy out of that, but then it's like because how he was raised, he has a moral compass. He's not going to abandon that completely. Once it's embedded in you, you can't really get rid of it.
Yeah, it's true. Good point.
Yeah. Who played his brother?
Good point.
Christian Camargo.
Oh yeah. What other movie was he in? I feel like I've seen him somewhere else.
I have actually.
He was a bad guy in that joint too.
Well, the one movie I remember him seeing in outside of this he wasn't a bad guy, but just dumb. The Hurt Locker.
I heard about it. I never saw it. That's the soldier movie, right?
The one about the bomb disposal unit in Iraq with Jeremy Renner and Anthony Mackie.
Oh yeah, I know him.
That was good.
Black dude from
the Falcon.
Captain America.
Yeah, the Falcon and Papa Doc from 8 Mile.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah, they still got plenty of memes about him playing Papa Doc compared to his MCU roles. I'm like, dude. Papa Doc, I don't even remember Papa Doc no more. He's a Falcon to me now.
Yeah.
And that dude in She Hate Me.
Damn, yeah.
You ever see She Hate Me, the Spike Lee joint?
No, I did. But I think I've seen him in the trailers.
That shit was funny, actually. That was pretty funny. It was pretty funny. It was like he calls his girlfriend "She Hate Me," like what's his name? Rod Smart. He played for the Carolina Panthers, but they were so XFL at the time, though. He hate me. Every time I saw that jersey, I laughed.
Yeah, I know.
Who hates you?
I remember that era.
You sound like a baby. He hate me.
We were in high school when he started this shit.
The first iteration of the XFL.
Yeah. Now the Rock is a commissioner. But
What
I thought it was a great show. Like, I didn't know really what to, when you suggested we watch it. I was like, okay.
Could you put me on the U, which was an inspiration?
Yeah, that's true.
Which is inspired by Dexter.
Has to be. Yeah.
Even though that guy on U, he's more of a pathological liar, serial cheater.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want his partner doing the same.
Right.
But you can't help but to root for him because he's made himself likable.
Yeah.
And he does the same shit that Dexter does.
Though. Yeah.
The narration, which is really cool.
Yeah, exactly.
And other shows that are similar, like Weeds, which was a sister show for Dexter.
I heard that was good. Rex was telling me about that one.
It's kind of similar because they both got white protagonists, white suburban protagonists who are leading double lives and are morally messy. But it has the same level of dark humor too.
I see.
Barry on HBO.
I've heard about that one. I've heard about that. It's good.
That one's good too. It's like it doesn't have the same narration, but it's like Barry. He goes around killing anybody. He's a professional hitman. Yeah. But he doesn't want nobody to know that. So he's killing everybody who might be able to find out about it. But here's the thing: all the people he kills are basically narcissistic Hollywood assholes. So it's hard to feel sad for them when he kills them. Like his acting coach or his equally narcissistic girlfriend. Yeah. It's like I'm mad at you, bro. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Dexter.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed it. It was good. The plot twist, I definitely caught me on the spin. I didn't expect it to be.
Me neither.
That good. It was actually really good because I didn't see it coming. Pause. But it was great.
You're like a blind woman at an orgy. they don't see anything coming. They literally don't.
Yeah, basically.
In later seasons, I just Dokes. He hates Dexter, but like the scene where Deborah, when she goes with him, with Dokes to his sister's house and his mother's house, and just gels with them. I'm like, I'm like, Lady Deborah, what are you, Tina Marie?
He's well trained and out to blend.
What, Dexter?
Yeah, Dexter.
He really is, but Dokes sees kind of right through it.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, and that's why he's always. You said their beef continues throughout the
in season 2. You'll see if you watch season 2, you'll see how it culminates.
Dokes has some crooked cop tendencies too, though.
Because he was fucking that one cop's wife,
the one that got killed.
Yeah, and they basically set him up to take part in a robbery.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we want you to know, we want you there. That's what you get for fucking a cop's sister.
Right.
But they were really doing that until they got the bad guy, until they were even. That guy, what's his name? The main guy that was part of that, his brother plays Cassidy on Law and Order SVU. Okay. Dean Winters. Yeah.
Never watched, but okay.
Yeah, Law and Order SVU. I hate I'm not gonna say what I hate, but it's like the original, the OG Law and Order. Yeah. That was better. Because I'm like, sex crimes. I don't want to hear about sex crimes all the goddamn time. Yeah. I mean, yeah, Mariska Hargitay, she's great to look at, even being damn near 60. But come on, dude. It's like The Boys. That show, The Boys, is like.
I still need that. I'm missing out. That's a great show from what I hear. So
The Boys?
Yeah. It's good. The humor is great.
The humor is great. It's like a dark parody of all the superhero genre.
That's what I heard.
And I tell people, if you don't like the superhero films, The Boys is for you.
That's what I heard, man.
But it's like, does everything about these superpowers got to be sex related?
I mean, and The Boys is like that?
Yes. Yeah, they got this one girl in there this one black chick named Marie Moreau. Her power is to manipulate your blood. Guess how her power first manifested when she first found out about it.
That time of the movie.
Yes. Yeah, she weaponized her blood accidentally and killed her parents. You have to see it. You have to see it. Yeah.
She seemed disgusting.
I'm like, everything. I'm like, does everything gotta be sex related with you fucking people?
I could imagine.
I mean, I'm all for some kinky shit every now and then, but not all the goddamn time.
I hear you, bro. I'm a dove, though. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm an Aquarius. But yeah, Dexter though. Yeah, here's a shout out to our friend
I know
David.
you're an Aquarius.
What?
Did you say you're an Aquarius?
Yes.
I know that.
Okay. You said you were a dove. I'm like, I'm an Aquarius. Like, you're insane. No, I'm an Aquarius.
Yeah, you like your things wet. I know. Shout out to Sai.
We're actually an air sign, really. Not
yeah, even though, you are an air sign, even though
we're a water bear.
Yeah.
Our friend David, he's the one that got me into Dexter, actually. Really.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was a big fan of it.
David,
yeah. So after he kept nagging me during season 2, I was like, all right, I'll check it out. And I started watching episodes of season 1. I'm like, okay, let me just go to Best Buy and buy the Blu-ray for whatever seasons are remaining out right now. Yeah. Let me binge these. Yeah. And I was right to do that because this show was good. It was good up until the end of season 5. Some might say season 4.
It's the best one.
Yeah, some might say season 4 because they had the best antagonists on there with John Lithgow. He played the Trinity Killer in season 4. He was good. But season 5 was the last competent season for me. After that, 6, 7, 8,
garbage,
and New Blood, garbage.
Check it out, man.
Yeah, check out Dexter.
Season 1 was great. I thought it was a really good season. So it might invite you to continue watching. I may consider watching the others.
I recommend it, yeah. I recommend season 2. You might like that, John.
Okay. For sure, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so Dexter. Yeah, we covered Dexter, Boyz N Tha Hood, Survivor Series 91. We covered a full gamut of things today, kids.
And it's about that time for the holidays.
About that time for the holidays. Yes, it is.
Yeah,
yes, it is.
Whatever your religious background or whatever it is, happy holidays in general. Christmas, Hanukkah,
Kwanzaa.
Whatever the fuck made up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if you had like your own impromptu Christmas, that's cool too.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a Friendsgiving or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool too.
Everybody that's traveling, safe travels to and from.
Oh, let me tell you, on the ride on 29 early today, right? Both to and from 29.
Yeah.
People trying like crazy to get on the ICC and 95, dude. It's crazy.
Travelers
Why you want to travel during Christmas for?
For the holidays, they out of control, man.
You know, come to think of it, I never traveled on Christmas at all myself.
I have.
I never had.
On Christmas Day.
Thanksgiving, yes.
I went to Ghana one time on Christmas Day. Yeah.
How was that?
It was cool. At the time, I was an adult, so it didn't really matter if I was, Christmas or whatever. I wasn't even getting gifts like that anymore. So. Yeah. But we will see y'all next year. Actually,
next time
you see us will be 2024.
I'll give you a movie preview of what we're covering. We're definitely covering Iron Claw. We got to cover that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The Von Erichs.
Yes, the Von Erichs. That wasn't even their real name. Their real name was Agassiz.
They switched that shit too.
It's some evil German sounding shit.
Yeah, it's wild.
The Von Erichs. Von Lieberman.
It's probably the curse that enabled their demise.
Their demise, yeah. Name yourself after some Mein Kampf Germans.
Yeah, wow.
Name yourself after the Kennedys. I mean, what's it called? You are a big family that died early. I mean, sorry. No, I'm sorry.
What?
I am dark humored, but.
What were you saying before that? Yeah.
I was
with the Iron Claw.
With the Iron Claw, yeah, we're definitely going to see that. We're going to cover that one as well too. As far as TV show and wrestling events, we'll decide. You'll see that in the promo next time.
100.
Yeah, but for right now, we gave like at least 1/3 of a preview of what we're going to do next. Yeah.
2024, we back. Live
2024.
Happy holidays and Happy New Year.
We'll be sitting on 24s.
Bang, bang, bang. Stay safe.
Peace.